All of you. The PPT is visible, huh? Is it visible? Hello? Hello? Is it visible? Hello? Is my voice is out?
கேக்குது சார்.
I'm not able to on the mic.
Okay, visible.
Okay,
Visible
okay,
now.
okay, okay. So last class we seen about the direct memory access. So just tell what is the anyone tell what is the use of direct memory access? Anyone? So previous last class we seen last week. So what is the direct memory access? No one is listening. It's like a one-way communication for me always. Okay. So direct memory access is yeah.
Sir, DMA means
Mm,
input devices need to transfer the data of other system to the memory address in the system
okay.
without using CPU interface. Sir.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that is actually the working of direct memory access. So if CPU
Okay.
want to interface everything in the sense it has to work for that also. So it may get delay to run the main program. So for example, OSs will keep on running. So I need to access the memory in the sense it has to work for us. So it won't do the proper operation. So direct memory access is used to access the memory by the input and output devices or any other outside memory without interfacing with the CPU. So it will complete the job, and similarly the CPU also will do the process continuously. Okay, you know that CPU won't stay idle, so always it will run the program. For example, if you switch on the computer or a laptop, it is running the OS continuously, right? So that OS is nothing but the main program. Defaultly the every CPU or the processor has to run, so then only we can able to do the other process, like opening the applications, opening the browsers, and then browsing everything we are doing. So that is a part, but main thing is the OS has to run. So that is the main. So CPU always be function with some programming. So for example, if you switch on the TV, so TV programming will be there. So that has to run continuously. And similarly, if you are switching on the AC, what is the default program? So first it has to on the fan, and it has to defaultly kept that settings. So that is the default one. After that, what input we are giving, that is a user interfacing. Suppose I'm changing the temperature, means it will change to according to that. In a laptop, I am connecting on devices, I'm opening various applications, that is a user applications. So system oriented application is nothing but the OS and a system oriented application, and OS, the time, the clock which is showing, and the data rate, the Wi-Fi signal. So these are system oriented tasks. So what is the user interface task in the sense, what are the application we are additionally installing, like a player and the softwares for the educational purpose, like a simulators, those things and all the user interface. Okay, and now we will see what is the memory management method. Okay, and before looking at the memory management method, so you can able to see the down we having some, the Apple iPhones having some memory configuration, and some other, like for example Android device having some memory configuration. And here if you see that for Apple, they are giving 1 GB RAM with 16 GB internal storage, and if you go for that additional one, so 64 GB of internal with 6 GB of RAM. Okay, so why the RAM is increasing? Can anyone know? What is the need of increasing the RAM? Suppose if I'm using 64 GB hard disk, I can use 1 GB RAM, right? Why I'm going for 6 GB RAM? Anyone?
So the speed of the processing will increase.
Speed of the processor increase, and similarly, in order to manage the internal memory, we require that much RAM. Listen, if the RAM, if the internal storage is keep on increasing, like from 1 GB to 64 GB, that much address should be stored. So that will be called from your RAM only. So similarly, if you increase the, suppose for example, if I'm keeping a 500 GB 500 GB of hard disk, it is enough for 2 GB. If I'm going for 1 TB, it required 4 GB. So thing is, how much memories keep on increasing, similarly the RAM has to increase. For example, previous the mobile phones 5 years back, and the mobile phone comes under the 1 megapixel of the camera, so that the size of your image will be, for example, 1 MB. But right now we are going for 10 MB, 20 MB megapixel, 20 megapixel, and 64 megapixel. Right now it is coming. So for a single image itself, it may take 5 MB to 10 MB. So storage devices increasing, as well as you are viewing the image, right? So you are opening the image, right? So in order to show that, the RAM is required that much. So that's why the memory also increasing. Okay, so that is the main reason. So why the RAM is depends upon your storage. Okay, so these are just an example, and let's see what is the memory management method. Suppose previously the first version and all, what they will do, they will allocate the particular size of your memory in a computer. If you use a old computer, they will run only limited process, so that is already fixed. For example, I'm going to run the OS, means it will be available in internally. So it will fixed for example 1 GB and previously and all, and we can't able to run more applications and all. For that I will additionally use another computer and another processor, like additionally I'm adding. But right now the memory management method is there. So what it will do in the sense, it will manage the memory, how to allocate, and what processor has to done, what task has to complete, and whether I want to give the memory space for that running the application or not, whether I want to reallocate in the sense, using the same memory I will give run multiple processor. So for example, I'm opening one tab, I'm keeping it idle, and again I'm opening another application. In the sense, I will give importance to the new application. Why? Because the old one is in idle condition. So I will give the memory allocation for the new application. So these things will done by memory management unit. Okay, if you're able to see that CPU is there, and MMU is nothing but memory management unit, and memory device are available. So memory device are ROM and RAMs, etc. And CPU is nothing but the processor. And in between we are mentioned that VA and PA. So VA is nothing but virtual address, and PA is nothing but the physical address. Okay, so what is a virtual address and what is a physical address? Let's see. If you physical address is nothing but the memory location exact address. Okay, so it will start with the value 00002 to the maximum value. That is nothing but your physical address. And virtual address means, listen, if you go for 64 GB, the memory should be much more, right? 64 GB, the memory address should be much more. I can't able to remember. So what I will do, I will give a label. Like for example, first 0 to 10 GB, I'm allocating 0, and then 11 to 20, I'm allocating 1. So likewise, I will mention, okay, suppose I want to store any data, means I will go with 0. And inside the 0, I will go with what is the exact memory location. So that is exact memory location in your hardware is nothing but your physical address. I'm just labeling like in a software manner. So that is nothing but your virtual address. So for example, if you take a book is having a page number, right? Naveen, mute your mic. Okay. So if you take a book, so book is having some, every book's having the page numbers. Okay. Just consider page number is nothing but your physical address. Now comes to that virtual address. What is the virtual address? Is nothing but, for example, for a first chapter, I'm giving a numbering like first chapter and first submission is nothing but 1.1 and 1.2 likewise and 1 point up to 1.10 for example. Suppose if it is a second chapter means I will start with 2. So those are nothing but your virtual address. So physical address is nothing but representing the hardware. The virtual address is nothing but a software likewise. Okay, so that is the difference between the VA and PA. And let's see what is the functioning of your memory management unit. So just it is having only 4 functions. So what is the 4 function is nothing but keep track of what part of memory are in use. So it representing in an entire memory location how much I am utilized. So that is the first thing. So it will keep a track. To keep a track in the sense, suppose if you want to check the memory means what you will do, you will go to the memory and you will see how much storage are empty so that you can able to transfer another data. So for giving the information that will be provided by the memory management unit. Okay. And another is nothing but second function is allocate memory to process when needed. So allocate in the sense, suppose I want to open a tab. For example, otherwise I want to open a software. If it is simple software like Notepad,
என்னதுடா? ஏய் அது எங்கடா டவர் கிடைக்க மாட்டேங்குதுடா, விட்டுட்டு வருதுடா.
Veerapatran. While I'm asking on the time, unmute and talk, ma. While I'm taking class, just mute it. Okay, second function is allocate memory to the process. So whenever I'm opening a notepad, it required, for example, just 1 MB. So 1 MB of memory. But
Sorry for the disturbance.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem.
சார் நஜீம் எக்ஸாம் நடந்துட்டு இருக்கான் சார்.
Najim ka.
ஆமா சார், சொல்ல சொன்னான் சார்.
Sorry, the exam. Okay. One more thing I want to tell. If they are having exam means we can't able to provide that attendance. So defaultly, if it is absent means absent only. Inform to them.
சார் இப்பதான் சார் நெட் கனெக்ட் ஆகுது, இங்க டவர் சரியா இல்ல சார்.
Okay, okay, okay. Hariharan, you are?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot of classes you are absent, right?
Yes, sir. I was writing exams, sir. இப்பதான் அரியர் எக்ஸாம்ஸ்லாம் எனக்கு முடியுது சார். எல்லா எக்ஸாம்ஸும் ஓவர் சார்.
Okay. Still you are having any more exam?
Yes, sir. I'll be attentive, sir.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So second is if you're opening a small software, so it requires very less space. If I'm opening a huge software, like I want to do an animation in the sense, the software which I'm using, it required more RAM. Okay. So the giving a proper memory space. So that will be provided by the memory management unit. So I want to give a sufficient storage to open some software. Okay. So by allocating the memory is a second task for the memory management unit. Once I completed, I'm closing the sense. I want to deallocate. I'm going to deactivate. Okay, that task is completed. Now I will get back the memory watch. I will make the free space. And I will remove the caches and all. So that also will be done by your memory management unit. And then another one is swapping or paging between the main memory and so for a main memory, what is the main memory and what is the secondary memory? What is the main memory and what is secondary memory? Anyone? What is the main memory and what is secondary memory? Guys, it's a basic question. What is main memory and what is secondary memory?
The secondary memory is RAM, ROM.
What is main memory then?
Main memory.
So main memory also called as primary memory.
Yes, sir.
Like default memory, sir.
Default memory. It's not a tell correctly.
The storage, all the things are stored in secondary memory, sir.
Okay.
Primary
Primary memory that will access directly from the CPU.
Sure. The main memory is directly inside the chip. What is available? You can't able to access it. So in the computer, what are the things available? So RAM, then ROM. So those are nothing but the main memory. Secondary memory is nothing but the hard disk, the CD, pen drive, flash disk. What are the things you are additionally adding? So those are nothing but your secondary memory. Okay. And what is this swapping or paging? So it is nothing but, suppose if I am running a task which I can't able to provide the proper memory space, in the sense I will utilize the hard disk, the external disk, in order to open some application. Only drawback is it may take some time. So you know that the RAM, ROMs, the main memories are very, very faster when compared to your the secondary memory, the hard disk and all. Hard disk and all very slower when compared to the RAM. Okay. So suppose the RAM is full, it's already opened lot of applications, and again you're opening one more application. In the sense, the memory management unit cannot able to allocate a memory space to that one. So on the time, what will happen? It will take some memory from your, I mean, it will allocate some memory from your hard disk as a main memory. Only thing is, it may take some time. So why? Because the speed of operation of your hard disk is very slow. Okay. So that if you can able to do the task, but it may take some time. So that is nothing but your the swapping or paging. So between the main memory and then disk. Okay. So these are the 4 functions is done by your memory management unit. And there are 2 techniques. So how the memory management are working. So one is the paging and another one is nothing but segmentation. So first let's see what is the paging. So paging is nothing but I'm partitioning. I'm splitting the memory space in a fixed size manner. So that is nothing but paging. So what is the need of splitting into multiple memory allocation? In the sense, suppose I'm doing one job. For example, one job it requires 100 MB. Just consider one job is required 100 MB, and I'm having a 200 MB of your space. Okay, so entire memory, total memory is nothing but 200 MB. I'm going to do multiple application. One application is 100 MB and another application is 50 MB and another is nothing but 60 MB. So now what will happen? So suppose I'm able to utilize 3 jobs, means I can able to do only 2 jobs. Why? Because one is 100, another is 50, the third one is 60. So I can't able to do. Suppose if I split it as a segment, in the sense the one job which is required 100, if I split it into multiple programs. So if one job is nothing but a program, right? So program having a lot of functionings. For example, one will be getting the input, another will do the process. So what I will do in this is the program will be divided. So first I will do the fetching operations and all. After that I will do the arithmetic operation. Suppose if I want to display, in the sense I will do that, I will split that display as a separate one. After that, I will allocate each and every small programs, and I will execute the small programs. Suppose if some tasks are completed, in the sense the space will become free. On the time, I will utilize for the third task. If one task is completed, after that, I will utilize the free space for the third task. Why? Because the third task also splitted into small programs, so that I can able to execute small program continuously. Okay. And so that's why the memory management will do the partitioning. So the partitioning will having the 2 times. One is nothing but the paging, another is nothing but the segmentation. So what is the paging and what is the difference between the paging and segmentation? Paging means it will partition in fixed manner, the RAM and then ROM. So both will partition in fixed manner. So suppose the default size is 10 MB, means the another partition size will be 10 MB likewise. Even the ROM and then RAM will be partitioned in fixed manner. If you go for the segmentation,
Segmentation means it will be a variable one. So it won't do a fixed process. Suppose first partition having the 10 MB means the second portion will be having a 20 MB. So that is the difference between your paging and segmentation. So both technique is nothing but partitioning or splitting, divide the huge program into small manners. After that, executing that small programs. Once it is complete the execution, it will put it it will reallocate the memory to the another sub program. So that is the process of MMU, memory management unit. Okay. So here, what are the responsibilities are having? So like what are the things we discuss? The same thing here they are describing. The first one is the managing the mapping between the logic memory and the task memory reference. So what is the logic memory and what is the task memory reference? Task is nothing but what are the task I'm giving. Okay, and managing the mapping between the logic memory and task in the sense the memory, how I'm going to place the address. Mapping is nothing but placing the address. Okay, you're going to do this task. I'm allocating this memory. You utilize this memory to complete your task. So that is the first point. And second is determining which process to load into the available memory space. Suppose there will be a priority. So which one I will give most priority in the sense I will set. Suppose I'm downloading any application and I am doing some browsing. So for which I want to give higher priority. So for suppose if you use anyone torrent, how many of you using the torrent? I think all of you using the torrent. You can able to see the torrent will do the process continuously. Suppose if you want to browse any in the sense, it will reduce the speeds. Only thing is it is giving the more importance to the torrent. Similarly here, for which job I want to provide the space. So that will be decided by the memory management unit. Okay. And what is the third functioning is nothing but third responsibility is nothing but the allocating and deallocating. So allocating and deallocating is nothing but providing the space and free up the space. I'm just clearing the space. So that is the third responsibility. And next one is tracking the memory usage of the system component. Okay. So suppose you're getting the hang. So suppose you are using the laptop. Sometimes it is not functioning in the sense you will check that which is taking more memory, like for using the task manager. How many of you use that using the task manager in your laptop? Can you able to describe what are the things you can able to see in task manager? Anyone? How many of you using the task manager? And what are the features? What are the details you are looking in the task manager?
What are the apps going on? It will show you.
What are the
See
tasks
memory
going
of this.
and which task consuming more memory, so that you can able to know, okay, how it is providing in the sense using the memory management unit. It will tell this task is, I mean, this software is using this much memory and the other one is using this much memory. And not only the memory, how much it is taking the processing and how much time it is consuming, how much data it is utilizing, everything will be tracked. Okay, here the MME will track how much memory space are utilizing. So that is the thing. And as well as the addresses and all, it is to know. Why? Because suppose I'm giving the starting address from 0 to 10 I'm giving, and I'm giving to one task. Once the task is completed, it has to show, okay, after that this memory space are free, so that another task will come and I will provide. So these information will be available in the MMU. And next is ensuring process memory protection. So memory protection is very much important. Why? Because suppose I'm allocating a fixed size memory to your OS. After that, I want to interface that memory space to another one. So protection is very much important. And you can able to see, suppose you're opening one, you're installing one application, and it is asking the permission not to access your memory. Is it right or not? If you're installing one application, some application will ask, I want to ask permission
Allow
to
the camera.
yeah
Allow the camera.
yeah. So similarly, so it will first block, it won't allow any application to do. So if you want to provide, means the user has to give the permission. Otherwise, what will happen if you are installing any software, it will track to hack your database and it will steal your data. So that's why the protection is very much important. So that will be provided by your memory management methods. Okay, so next is nothing but the user memory space. So user memory space means user are using the softwares. So software, how they are using this is using the user memory space. So kernel is nothing but the OS. So there are two types actually: memory space, user memory space, kernel memory space. Kernel memory space used to run the OS, and user memory space used to run the application which we are installing additionally. Okay, and just go through that the same thing. Because of multiple processors sharing the same physical memory when being loaded into the RAM for processing, so there also must be some protection mechanism. So processor cannot unintentionally affect each other when being swapped. So I told what is the swapping purpose and all. In the same memory, so RAM is utilized for the OS as well as the software. So software memory should not interface with the OS memory. Similarly, the OS which I install in a memory space should not affect the software. So there will be a protection mechanism will be required in a single physical memory space. And you know that suppose the memory is full in the sense the memory swapping will do, so where I can able to access the hard disk. Okay, so that will be done using the actually that will be provided only for the user application. The OS won't run in the hard disk and it will utilize fully RAM. Only the application which we are using, the user applications, that will be, if memory is full in the sense, that will be utilized by hard disk. Okay, and here they are giving the memory swapping, how they are doing. So for example, first one is nothing but the new represent here new task I'm going to do, and here you can able to see a dotted line and then the straight line. So dotted line means the possibilities of getting go to the ready state, otherwise it will go to the ready or suspend. So actually it is waiting. So it is ready whether I want to cancel, I mean I want to provide the memory to the task or not. So that will be decided by the ready or suspend. Once it is going to ready or suspense, if it is activated, okay, the space is available ready, in the sense it will go to the ready state. After that, that memory will be dispatched for running the application. So that's why from the ready, once it is I mean it has to process the task, in the sense it will dispatch to the running state. So after the running, once the task is completed, it will release the memory and go to exit state. Otherwise suppose I'm holding the application, I'm opening one more application additional, so that the previous application I'm not utilizing, right? So that will go to the wait. So event is waiting. I'm not working with that event represent. I'm not using the application. Now I'm using another application. For example, in your mobile, first home page is there. I'm just opening a message box. Okay, and I'm getting some notification. On the time what I'm doing, I'm going to the WhatsApp application, so that the message SMS is holding. It is not visible in your screen and all, so it won't take that much. So it will available in blocked or wait state. So that's why the event is waiting. I'm not using the event, so it is going to block. Whether entirely it is available in block or I want to suspend. In the sense, suppose what I will do, I will close the all application. So that will be in waiting list. So whether I want to block or not. Once it is blocked means again it goes back to your ready or ready suspend. So this is the memory swapping methodology. How I am allocating and reallocating the memory space for the same task or multiple tasks. So here just they given the diagram of the user memory space. Listen, the user memory space, like I said, so it is having the different size. So for example, user space is nothing but a single program that are divided into small portion. It is not mandatory that each and every subprograms are in same size. That's why they are representing different size. So here, if you want to use the physical memory in the sense, and it is not mandatory to allocate the memory in sequence order. So wherever the free space are available, it will go and it will occupy. But if you see the old one, the old in the sense the starting when the computers are generated, So it will be fixed one. So first it will go give the task, and second another address it will allocate the next task. Likewise, in sequence manner it will allocate the work, but nowadays it is allocating wherever the free space are available. Next is the segmentation process. Like I said, so paging is nothing but partitioning into small division which is having a fixed size. Segmentation is nothing but the partitioning into small portion or small program in variable size. So that is the difference between the paging and segmentation. Okay, here just they given the definition. The process encapsulator, in the sense it is like a package. So all the information that is involved in executing a program. So like I said, the software is nothing but a small executing a program only, which is consists of the source code. Source code is nothing but a C language or Python or Java, whatever maybe. So source code will be there, and stack and data will be there. So stack, you know what is a stack, right? Stack is nothing but last in first out. So that one, as well as the data will be available. Suppose you are doing any arithmetic operation, surely the data will be available. So that's why they represented. Okay, and in second statement they given the exact definition what is the segmentation. Just go through that one. So all of the different types of information within a process are divided into logic memory units of variable size are called segmentation. So like I said, it is not a fixed size, it's a different size, so it may vary. And most OS typically allow process to have all or some combinations of 5 types. Actually, how it is segmented in the sense based upon the following: the code segment, data segment, blocks started by symbol, and stacked segment, heap segment. So what is a code segment? In the sense, the program code. Okay, so program will be segmented separately, and the data segment is wherever the data is available, that will be segmented separately. And block started by the symbol. What is the block started by the symbol? In the sense, you can able to see in some program they will use the slash, double slash, and they will do the comment. In different language it will be different. So comment is used to identify that particular program what the function is doing. Anyone, have you seen the like that? In a program they will give the comments, this will do this process. For example, printf is there, means it will print the data. Like this, I will give the comment, so that the user, the first time who is learning the C, they will able to understand, okay, this code is used for printing, and this code is used for scanning, and this code will do the loop function. Likewise, so giving the command, right? So that I will give using the symbol. So that's why that kind of thing are segmented, like a block started with the symbol. Okay, and next is stack segment is nothing but wherever I'm using the stack, that will be separated. And heap segment, so heap segment is nothing but the user, so user data will be segmented. Okay, and just like a normal how I'm going to allocate the memory. So there are many things is that, like a first, next, best, worst fit, and quick fit. What is the first fit? First fit is nothing but if every entire program is free, I will start from the beginning. Okay, so how much memory space required, I will allocate from 0, starting with the address of 0000. And next is nothing but next fit. So next fit used to once allocating the first fit, another I'm using the next address. What is the address of your next memory location? So from there I will start to allocate the size. Once the process completed, again I will use the next address, so after for the next task. Okay, and third one is nothing but the best fit. So best fit is nothing but it will scan the entire process where it can able to fit properly. Okay, suppose if I want to burn a OS in a operating in a CD, I want to burn a OS in a CD, in the sense it won't burn in sequence manner. So it won't burn in unsequenced manner. Like I said, in a RAM it will allocate different portion, but in a CD it will allocate in sequence portion. Okay, so best fit is nothing but it will scan the entire where it will fix exactly without dividing it. So that is nothing but your best fit. And worst fit is nothing but wherever the space is available, I will allocate. So that is nothing but your worst fit. And what is a quick fit? Quick fit is nothing but having the database. I'm having the database wherever the memory location is available. So once I will check. So for example, in a first segment, I'm having 10 KB and second segment having 20 KB. I look at the task. Task is having 20 KB in the sense I will fix to the second location. So that is nothing but the quick fit, which is having the information, already is having the information of the memory space, which is free space, which is busy, and which is waiting. So everything, every data will be available in the database so that it will allocate. So that process is nothing but your quick fit. And so just the same function, they are again repeating what is the functions. So allocating and deallocating, providing the memory and making it free. So that is the first one. And second is dynamic block allocation. So dynamic means it will keep on changing. The space, the size will be changed, the area will be changed. So everything will be changed. Okay. And memory protection to the OS as well as the memory protection among the tasker. Like I said, OS where I'm storing that won't be shared with your task. And similarly, memory protection among the task in the sense that between the two tasks, it won't share the memory. Suppose I'm installing a camera and I'm installing another camera. So both are functioning same, but the memories which I'm providing will be different. So one camera app cannot access the memory space of your another camera app. So memory space in this, I'm not talking about the internal storage. I'm talking about the programming level. Okay. And yeah.
Sir, sir, exam இருக்குங்க சார், நான் அப்படியே கிளம்புறேன்.
Bala Ganesha.
Sir, arrear exam இருக்குங்க சார்.
Okay. When the entire arrear exam is ending, ma?
Sir, தெரியல.
Sir, 5th I think so, sir. 5th or 6th.
Sure. Okay. It's okay, ma.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye. So multi-processor memory allocation means in a single CPU, I'm having multiple processors. So that allocating can be done by the MMU, memory management unit. So these are the functions where the MMU will do. So up to that, the memory management unit is completed. Any queries is there for? Actually, this is a huge one. Memory management unit is a huge topic. Any queries?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, let me see that. So Venkatesh. K. Venkatesh. Sir, why did you join at 1:28?
டேட்டா இல்ல சார், அப்புறம் டேட்டா ரீசார்ஜ் பண்ணி வந்தேன் சார்.
கிளாஸ் இருக்குன்னு தெரியும்ல.
டேட்டா எக்ஸ்பைரி ஆயிடுச்சு சார், இப்போ ரீசார்ஜ் பண்ணிட்டு சார் வந்தேன்.
And
15 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Hariharan also joined at 1:17. You told some network issue. Okay, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Today only 10%. What happened to Balaji M, Jayasurya, Maheshwaran?
நான் பிரசன்ட் தானே சார். வெங்கடேசன் கேஸ்.
I am asking about the Balaji M absent. Jayasurya absent. I'm talking about absenteeism. Maheshwaran absent. Naveen absent. Naveen B absent. Edilarasan absent. Purushottama is long absent. Guys, do you know whether these students are attended at morning session?
No, sir. No, sir.
Today only maximum 10
They
students.
have arrear, sir. Naveen.
Okay.